Good morning, afternoon, evening. Does anybody know what time it is? Good morning, Alana Heim. I'm JacQueline with Intuition Power, here with Alana Heim from Prosperity Alignment. Good morning
Good morning. Good morning.
from
Hello.
Reno, Nevada. Well,
Yay.
welcome back. And getting past stuck. How do you do it?
Hmm. Well, and I think there's just so many levels to stuck, right? I think the big one for most of us is it's right here, right? We already just can perceive we're stuck, and so therefore we are, and there's no way around it. I feel like for me, it's like because then it that starts to really impact my emotions. Right. So if I'm already like, oh, there's nothing happening, nothing's moving, right? I'm gonna be in that. And then there's an emotion underneath that maybe I'm frustrated, maybe I'm disappointed, maybe I'm sad. And I can be all of it. I mean, maybe one pops, but then I can go deeper and deeper. And really it's there's tools and things that I know that I use with clients, but I use on myself to clear that and just to sit in it. I'm okay to sit in it to really process and then start realizing like what needs to shift, right? Is it my languaging? Is it the things I'm telling myself? And then is it an emotion that I tend to kind of run in a lot and then feel like I'm stuck in that way too? So there's a lot there to unpack.
A lot of people aren't feeling stuck because of myself. There's nothing I can do. It's the economy, it's the job, it's my boss, it's my family. There's so many different reasons or excuses. In fact, there was a coaching program I was involved with with T. Harv Eker, and over the 10 years that I worked with them part-time, they changed their title and they changed the whole format major 3 different times. And one of them was called oh, it just left my brain. That's great. Don't you hate when that happens? um or um something or something. And I guess it wasn't a great title because it's not sticking with
It's not memorable.
me.
Maybe it'll float back in.
Right.
But even then I'm assuming they got stuck and then they had to like create a new iteration or change the languaging or do something. And then maybe there was more traction that came in because they changed it.
Well, they actually had different um, executives come in, and each time the new executive for that division came in, lo and behold, they changed the program, which was great for me as a coach because they threw out a complete system and they taught us a complete new system.
Mm.
And so I got to see the out of literally the 4 actually programs that they had, I believe that the first one was the best, but it was the most complicated to get started. Um, and um, it was something like something or results. Um, and they would say, what is the most important word of those? Is it, and it's not going to work unless I remember what that first word is. So let's go on to a different topic. Everything is energy. And when we're talking about feeling stuck or getting past stuck, uh, there are many different ways to start to move energy. It could be breath, it could be starting to exercise, it could be taking just a quick break and stepping outside and just breathing, doing 5 jumping jacks, just to move and change, even changing your position, the way you sit can make a shift. So you got physical, changing the food, you just recently did a cleanse, doing a cleanse and changing the chemistry in your body, even if it's temporarily. That when people go stuck, they go, oh, the outside, they think the outside, there's nothing that I can do to make a change. I'm just a victim. Instead of, I am a what would you put in as a word? I am a success. I am a talented person. I am a creative. I am a powerful mom. I am and you start. So you've got the physical stuff that you can start to change. I just got one little tiny cabinet and I moved where my water uh, dispenser was in my kitchen. And it's taken me over a week to not go to where it was and to where it is, but it's changing feng shui and it changes everything. So physical, then you've got emotions. What attitudes or feelings? Are there any hurts, or what would be another word for that? Resentments, emotional blocks, frustrations, angers that you're hanging on to, that you,
Yeah. May or may not even realize are there.
yeah. And some of it is past, it's already embedded into your cellular memory as a reaction. That's one thing I'm surprised, because it shows up in the charts that you do with human design, right?
Yeah. In human design, roughly half the population is defined as emotional. What does that mean? It means they have their own emotional process. The other half are the empaths that feel the emotions of those people who are pigpen and spewing emotions everywhere they go, right? So I'm an emotional defined person, meaning I have my own emotions. And when I'm not truly aware, someone like you can feel me and I can say, I'm not angry. And you're the one who can truly empathically and even energetically start to feel angry because you are in my field of energy.
Yeah,
So
there's
there's a great responsibility with tapping into your emotions, because if I'm constantly angry and I have no idea that I am, and you do, and every time you see me and you're like, ugh, I don't feel good around you, guess what? You're not going to want to hang out with me. You're not going to want to be in my sphere. You're not going to send me opportunities. So
and
being mindful of where we are and then what we're creating and why we're feeling stuck, because we're actually, let's just say that the emotional energy is like stagnant water, right? The water is just stuck in this hole, has nowhere to flow. There's no more movement. It is just stagnant. So I guess the main piece too with being stuck in general, it requires change. It requires something to get the energy moving again.
right. And I have to say, in all the places I've traveled, not all the 50 states, but a lot of them for my career work and in lectures and seminars and things. But the Reno has the most, at least that's who I'm meeting, empaths.
Mm.
Unbelievable number of empaths that, and what is an empath? It's someone that feels things more than others. And you're like a sponge. They're like a sponge, and they just absorb feelings, emotions, energies. Um, so if you're sitting, if you go into a movie theater and you're one of the first ones, and it's pretty empty, and you sit down in a seat, and all of a sudden you go, I think I'll move over there. And then you get up and you move over there, and they, no, I think I'll move over there. You may be feeling the energy of the person that was sitting there just before you. And you don't even realize how sensitive you are. And those, some of those people can't go shopping. They can't go to a nice restaurant in one of the beautiful casinos that we have, because they can't walk through the casino, because they're like a sponge, and they collect all this, whether it be from the light bulbs, the energy that's in the room, or the energy that people have when they're winning or losing or whatever it may be, they absorb. And by the time they get to the dinner place, which is beautiful, they're like, I need a drink or something, because they don't want to go there. And they don't know how to shield themselves. And most
Mhm.
people that have taken training put up a wall. Well, guess what? A wall for shielding may be positive, but it's not the best because a wall blocks out. It's a two-way thing. Your
Mm.
positive energy can't get out. What you put out comes back to you reflected. And so when someone like takes my course in empowerment, intuition power, they learn in a few short weeks what the alternatives are, how to create a moving deflector shield that will release or deflect any negativity, but allow the love to come in. And the same thing, what you put out comes back to you. So your intuition as a guidance system is stronger, but there are really rapid ways. A lot of people spend decades learning what I teach in just a few weeks because I work with a blueprint of evolution, how things naturally work. And so seeing auras, learning to do remote viewing, those things are integrated into my course, but in a certain order so that by the time you end, you're graduated, you have a new level of clarity, balance, and ability to continue growing on your own with certain foundational important concepts integrated. So you become your own guru. So with your uh, work and background, not only in the real world, I'm going to call it the real world that everybody else is functioning in, like is a CPA, your history coming into your integration into more energetic cause of things, cause and result. Your you're able to be effective with more effective than the average person who does human design, for example. Or you can speak astrology if you need to, and other things. And the fact that you're grounded with family and positive relationship and all that gives you an extra feedback for people that is brilliant.
Thank you.
So we've got the physical stuff that you can move or physically move or breathe. Then you've got emotional relationships. And so a lot of people have blocked off their memory from early childhood, from teenage years. Oh, I don't remember any of that stuff. Usually it's because you blocked it off. Usually there's a trauma, there's emotion. How easy is it using your system to help people get through that?
It's the awareness. And it's kind of like once you suddenly see something and how you can't unsee it anymore, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, there it is. So people that I work with, they'll usually find me for more financial money aspects. They want more of the tangible real world stuff. And yet I can bring in the energetics. I can bring in the emotional layers and help them to realize, are they more the empath? Or are they the one that has their own emotional energy? And what is that emotional energy showing them? Because I see it's very simple. If we get upset, it's because we're moving in a direction we don't want to go in. We're doing something we don't want to do. It's just like the 2-year-old, right? Why do they throw tantrums? They don't want to do whatever you're trying to tell them. They don't want to put their clothes on. They throw a fit. We do the same thing as adults, except just like you said, because it's buried, we don't know why we're getting mad. We just know we're mad and it must be your fault. Rather than internalizing. And when we can even just sit with it and start to have this awareness of, okay, I'm upset, or when I think of this thing, I have these feelings that come up and I can get triggered very easily, right? Because if you're angry in this now moment about your sister, right? She's not even here. And we already know it's nothing to do with right now. It's something to do with your past that you're carrying forward. And the moment you can even go into that memory, you're time traveling, right? You're traveling to that moment in time and instantly you're bringing it right back into this now moment. That's an indication there's work to do. What does that
Let
mean?
go.
Yes, it means
Let
we're
it
stuck,
go.
the energy is not moving, and maybe it can be as simple as just sitting in it, acknowledging it, thanking the anger for showing me what I have to work on and what needs to change. And when we're happy, it's because, oh my gosh, this feels good. I want to do this. And so you can apply this in your family life, in your work life, when you're out in the world with strangers, when you see politics on the news, right? The moment you get angry, what is it that you're not happy with? What is it that you see needs to change? And then, to your point earlier, are you feeling like you're a victim and you have no ability to make a change? Right? Because let's just say you can't change politics that they're showing on the news, but you can turn that shit off. And that's your choice. Or you can go have a conversation with someone and just get it out if you need to move it because it's really bothering you or whatever it may be. But that's the moment of your power coming in when you realize you can do something. And when you change the cycle, when you break the pattern, that's when you get to respond differently.
Right. When you bring up politics, a friend of mine up in Lake Tahoe is actually, um, he's retired from California Water District, but he's living up in, excuse me, in Lake Tahoe. And he was telling me that Lake Tahoe is one of the most polluted bodies of water in the world.
Crazy, because look how many like advocates and conservationists we have and groups that
Right.
like want to save the Tahoe,
So,
and it's not,
right. So he
wow, it's
did the
crazy.
research. He did some research on his own, and through, I'm going to say, spiritual intervention of right place, right time, his intuition, he happened to get, oh yeah, I've got this paperwork. Oh yeah, I know about that. I've researched it myself. He blah blah blah. Saved a lot of time, money, and got to the right people in the locals that uh government people area, that anyway, they changed. He, long story short, it took him a few years, but they got the they passed, I don't know if it was legislation, whatever it was, to change and to stop, to no longer allow the type of docks that were being built and some of the things that were
Mm.
leaching, the plastics. And they not only put a stop to the problem, but they also got some of the resolutions in place to turn it around. It was just absolutely brilliant. A lot of the major news wouldn't pick it up,
Of
and it's like,
course.
why? It's such a fabulous
Important. Yeah.
thing. And it was all greed and under the table stuff that was going on
Of course. It always is.
for decades. And so, people with a heart that understand the importance of the bigger picture, that, survival is basically our health, our wealth is all connected.
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered from earlier. The
Hmm.
name of that coaching program was called Reasons or Results
Hmm.
Coaching. It was Reasons or Results Coaching. And they would, when they were pitching the program, we would have 5,000 or 6,000 people in the audience. And they would say, how many, and they would talk about it a little bit. How many of you think the most important word is reason? Uh, um, Reasons. And some people would raise their hand. How many people think the most important word is results? And other people would raise their hand. And he said, anything else? And he says, actually, the most important word in the title is or,
Yeah.
because that's your choice. And people would, their minds would be blown because they were trying to figure it out. And to realize that reasons, you've got reasons or results, and people want the results, but they get stuck, and the word or is the choice. So if you're stuck in or right now, or if you're stuck in reasons why things are not moving, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, creative, spiritual, if you're not where you are, where you want to be, then what do they do, Alana?
So and I just want to add real quick.
Yeah,
I feel like where we've been has been in the or. Where we are and moving towards is the and, right? It's both. That so many times we constantly try to like separate and be like, you only get one. No, we're creating a place where we get it all, right? We can have both. So I have a lot of prosperity insights and tips that are on my Patreon page. So that's prosperity alignment, where when you join for free, you can get your free human design chart. You'll have access to, I don't even know, there's just maybe there's like 50 different posts. And so these would be tips, but I also would have like an exercise so that, maybe you are stuck emotionally. And here's like a tip or an exercise or something that you can do to have the awareness, to really connect into the emotion so that if or when, probably when you're stuck, right, you have the choice to make. What are you going to do? And it's not or, right? It really is and. I'm going to do this and I can do this, right? Meaning I can make a choice and I can make a change and I can be in my pity party, right? I can feel stuck in the moment if I so choose. And that's a choice too, and sometimes to be in it, to feel it, you actually connect into it deeper. And there's no shame in it. There's no right or wrong. Sometimes you might feel like you're in it for 10 minutes, maybe it could be an hour. The choice is yours. But in that moment, you're going to make another choice that says, you know what? I'm going to sit in my pity party, but I'm going to do it outside and I'm going to sit in the sun. And
right.
maybe you just feel it burning away. Maybe you feel more energized and something shifts in you to realize a whole new perspective.
That in itself is a form of meditation. To go in, if you go outside, I'm going to get away from this. You go outside and you still have it on your mind, but you're starting to just breathe, relax, and release it. And so there's so many millions of ways of healing, of not just ignoring it and, get past it. People say, if you've got this problem, just drop, like a weight. If this was a weight and you stick your arm out and you hold the weight, it's going to get heavy. You can lift the 2 pound weight, but it'll get heavy after a long time. And if it's an hour, 3 hours, 5 hours, it's going to get painful. And even though it's not heavy. So if you hold on to something for a long enough period of time, the pain is going to come in and it's going to bring resentment, anger, whatever, frustration. But sometimes to just drop something without gaining the learning, the growth perspective is just setting you up for having it come back another time. And you can go, oh, I can handle it. It's not that heavy. But over a period of time, even if you have the task to do, I feel so much compassion for people that have children that have been born with different situations, Down syndrome, or even worse, that are dysfunctional people, that need care all the time for as long as they live, 20 years, 40 years. And the parents having that obligation and that opportunity that is life-changing and just horrendous to deal with, to hold on to the resentment and to anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Let it go, but find the learning and the lessons. And so just the snapshot that you give in your readings, you're still doing them, right?
Yeah, human design, Gene Keys, consulting in general, it's just, where are you stuck, right? And there's questions or insights that I can help someone to see why it may be happening, where it may be coming from. Because sometimes you could be stuck because you're actually stuck because you're in somebody else's energy, and their energy is keeping you stuck, maybe, placating you. So there's just these things that once you start to see the energy at play, you can't unsee it. And then it opens up a whole new world for you to be in and realize how you have choice and you can change situations more than you realized.
Right. And that's the thing. Everything's about changing. Our bodies are changing all the time. Our cells are replacing themselves. And there's absolutely nothing that can't be recreated or created. That's a whole different topic. And so, parting shot. Also, I do the same thing with my psychic work. With the I don't promote it that much anymore. The psychic work or the past life work, if people want to do a really deep dive, they bring a list of people that they know, their mother, father, whether they're still around or not. And I go over the karma, who they were in the past, how that's affecting you now, and how to move forward. Um, Life purpose, soul mission. Those things are really important to align with, because that's why we're here. So human design can help you with that. My work in intuition power can help you with that. And I hope if you're watching this, you will consider exploring patreon.com/prosperity alignment and checking out what Alana has put together. Years and years of work, which is fabulous. And otherwise, I wouldn't have her on this program with me. And or go to intuitionpower.com. I will be starting classes in a few months. It was something to wait for. And pay attention, have a fabulous day, and take a few moments to enjoy life and to be grateful and thankful for what we have. So, Alana, thank you for joining today. And hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.